We're live. Hello,
We are
all.
live.
It's been a while. How you
Yes, it has.
Been a little while. Thought we'd give it a break, get back into things post
Yeah.
All-Star break.
Got some new gear too we're testing out, so if you end up coming by, just let us know if you can hear. We've got the mics running all the way through the setup now, so
it should
hopefully
be
the mics...
clear.
Yeah, it'll
Should
be nice and clear. Did a few demos on a live pod we did for On the King's Dime for the Sydney Kings as they graciously bowed out.
Yep, so we're back focusing on the NBA. Some big news in Aussie realm. Bogut
Yes.
heading off to the Warriors.
Beautiful. Love it. We're going to be able to cover the Warriors.
Oh, mate, we're going to be covering every team in the bloody comp soon.
We were so salty about losing the Bucks, but you know when a door opens, when a door shuts, a window opens, and now we can cover the Warriors.
Now we can cover Bogut playing 4.5 minutes a game for the Warriors.
Yeah, man, you can watch the rest of the team. You know,
That's it. That's
what we're there for.
So-
So we'll go through some games today. Obviously, All-Star break that happened a couple of weeks ago, or it feels like months and months ago. There's not many games to go, is there? There's about 22 or something like 22. That. Yeah.
So I think we're looking at about 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, so that's scary that, you know, we're coming up on finals time. The Lakers, obviously, you know, having a bit of struggles. The Celtics.
The Celtics, Kyrie having a bit of a hissy fit and not fitting into things. We haven't seen a lot of Bainesy, so we're not going to cover the games, but we're going to do a bit of a wrap-up of the Celtics.
We'll just have a chat about the Celtics and what we've seen.
As what we've seen, which has been some pretty... been some bad Kyrie juju. I think he's had a bit of a tantrum, and look at the All-Star break. He's trying to recruit Kevin Durant to the Knicks. Two max spots. It's just like, really?
But did that really happen? Though?
It did happen.
Yeah.
It did happen, and it happened, and he's just being a little bit of a bitch. And it's hard to say. Technically, he's an Aussie. But we're going to technically he's an Aussie, but we're going to disown him from being an Australian because he's acting like a sissy bitch, and he needs to play hard for the Celtics because it's going to prop up the Eastern Conference and make the final series good. In saying that, they still beat Philly every time, so my complaining is obviously that. But again, I think that they're going to go further with Terry Rozier. Rather than Kyrie, but he's also been linked to the Suns in the off-season. So it's going to be another interesting off-season, but let's get straight into some games.
Yeah.
What are we starting off with today?
Cavs at the Suns. The Battle of the Trash Cans.
Battle of the Bongwater.
Yeah, East-West Battle of the Trash Cans. The Cavs came out with a win. They've started hot out of the gate.
Yeah.
After All-Star break, they just decided to win a few games. You know,
That's it, and it was good to see. Obviously, Kevin Love coming back's big boost for them.
Yep. Still on restricted minutes, but
it doesn't matter. The guy is, I think he's showing his quality and his worth by, scoring some games, taking things over, and making sure that the Cavs are looking a little bit more respectable. Obviously, my predictions are all on Kevin Love being healthy and fit, and those over and unders have gone completely out the window. We've not really seen the likes of Deng Adele again. He's gone missing, but he's playing for the Canton Charge.
Yeah, so I think they've kind of like he had about 4 or 5 games in there where
he started and
Chetty got injured and then he was starting and then it looked good. Like, oh, this is good. We're going to see some Deng Adele. This is good. But he kind of didn't
grasp the opportunity with both hands. Maybe that was him just trying to find his way and not take over. But
a bit disappointing. I mean, I don't think it's the end of his chances. He'll probably get another chance to step up later, but I would have liked to have seen him do a little bit more, be a little bit more aggressive. But obviously, in a tanking team, it's pretty hard to mess up the mojo. I guess like the mojo is already bad, so I guess coming into that sort of team, just grabbing the ball and trying to do whatever you want with it when they're already all in on a rookie and Sexton. Obviously there's some issues there, but. He showed a little bit in G League he showed a little bit in the NBA, but he showed plenty in G League. So I can see them sort of sticking with him.
It's translational, I think. But again, it's just going to take time. He will get his chance. especially for an undrafted guard, but his 3-point percentage needs to come up.
Yeah.
Just slightly. Delhi with the dime central.
Yeah, 11 dimes in this game. He's dropping
great.
dimes for days.
Dimes for days. He's got a blocked Rashawn Holmes off a 5-foot layup. That's hilarious.
Your old mate, Rashawn Holmes.
Bouncy Holmes.
But Love coming back obviously is big for them, and they still have to sort of decide whether they're going to continue to lose games down the stretch of this season. And
tank for Zion, tank for RJ. I think this draft class is going to look good. My pick of the draft class is going to be Rui Hachimura.
Yeah,
I've said that time and time again. He destroyed the Aussies when Japan played, like single-handedly with Nick, cerebral palsy physicus. Go and watch that dude. He's a hilariously strange basketball player. Just kind of waddles up the court worse than Dirk, and then shooting threes at left, right, and center. But Rui Hachimura looks like a 3-and-D, 2A.
Yeah, definitely.
MVP, potentially in the future player.
Wow, that's big MVP.
It's big, man.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first back in the day. Maybe I should put some money on it.
Yeah, you should. Chetty Osman, obviously, he's back. He had that ankle injury. He had 19 points. Devin Booker, 30 points in this game. Kelly Oubre Jr., a little bit of a feast or famine type guy for the Suns. He's had some good games. He's had some bad games. They're obviously still rooted to the bottom of the West, struggling. Zizic played well. He had 15 points and 12 rebounds. And Nance, who played in this game, I believe, had it written down here. But having Love back is presenting an interesting wrinkle for their team because
he's not He's not going to tank.
He's good enough to kind of keep you in a playoff spot at the very least. But the damage has been done on their season already, where they are in trouble. They're in serious trouble of making the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to make the playoffs now. It's even Kevin Love, they've gone all in on Kevin Love. Even bringing him through now is kind of like, what's the point?
It's kind of just getting ready for next year, potentially.
The season's over. But then, are they going to get rid of him? Or
I don't think so. It doesn't seem like there's anyone that really wants to go to Cavs. I think he's committed to the Cavs and to rebuild around Kevin Love. What's he now, 30? I think that there is a potential to rebuild about him. A couple of young players, Colin Sexton, not having a bad rookie year, just being outshone by Trae Young, DeAndre Ayton, and Luka Doncic. Some special plays in there. Not having an individually bad year, but potentially not going to be the one that shines. We'll move on to the Heat and the 76ers. This was a good win for the New Look 76ers. Still looking very weird, not working because they've put so many pieces in a team. Jimmy Butler doesn't really make sense, but he's taking on this new role of initiating play, running the point. I think that's what he wanted all his careers. For some coaches say, "Hey Jimmy, run the point." He's like, "Yeah, man, I want to run the point."
Yeah.
And it seems to be working.
Is that like a second or third unit type of thing?
No, he just kind of runs the point at the end of the first. When TJ comes on the floor, TJ goes to a 2-guard, Ben goes to a power forward for a couple of minutes. Then he comes off.
Because he's playing a lot of minutes, Simmons, man.
Yeah, he is. But again, he's really fit.
He is.
He's very fit. His intensity never wanes.
No, and he's durable, and he's not overly wild and aggressive with his... his engine doesn't have to be super large because he's not an all the way up to 11 all the time. Yeah. He picks his spots, he gets to the basket. Even getting to the hoop, he looks like he's not trying sometimes. His ability to, dribble drive past 2 or 3 guys and just score. He's getting a lot better, and his defense, man, is getting
way better, especially at the rim, stripping the ball late in the play. He's looking, post All-Stars, he's got something really to prove, which is great to see from our perspective. And, Philly getting the win in this game pretty easily. No Embiid. Embiid's been out with a knee soreness. He's been, as of the 5th of the 3rd, I think he's being reevaluated today. Trained with him yesterday. Maybe a week away from playing again, but it seems like Bolden's getting some of the work done. Yeah. And obviously, they've got that backup center in Amir Johnson, and Patton's not too far away.
And then Boban.
Boban's injured as well.
Yeah,
he got injured not in this game, New Orleans. But good one with the Sixers. Just quickly, the Celtics lose to the Bucks, but let's not talk about that. We love the Bucks, but we're not allowed to talk about them anymore because
that sucks.
They got rid of all the Aussies. Spurs at Toronto. Spurs bone out of a win this one. Lost by 3. Paddy had 28 minutes. Scoring well, Paddy.
Yeah, he had a great game. He's looking really good, actually, at the moment. 28 minutes. He had 15 points, 6 of 11. Probably one of his best games of the season. It was just that bad turnover at the end by DeRozan, which I thought was a bit of a foul. But
yeah, it's kind of like one of those 50-50 calls. Yeah, what do you do?
I think if the Spurs were at home, they probably would have got that call, really. But,
Raptors up north, you're going to get home
call.
A
little bit of home cooking. It sucks that it's DeRozan too. If it was somebody else, then
it's good to see that he's still got a home if he wants to go back there. I think the fans would love to have him back. He's very loved up north and appreciated that he didn't actually want to go, but is still making the best of things in San Antonio. But the Spurs are such a weird team. 1 minute they're getting chunked and they've scored 80 points. Next minute they're putting up 130. And you're like, who?
What? Where does this come from? And then it's a LaMarcus. If he's playing well, then it's great. If he's not playing well, then it just all falls apart. And then it doesn't seem to fit with DeRozan's mid-range game. You know what I mean?
Because they're both kind of mid-range players.
Yeah, it's weird.
Neither is a stretch, and so you just again creating that mid-range, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Like a half, yet they don't couple together to create something that expands and drives your offense. It's really sort of strange. And then I guess you look at Paddy. Paddy's a really good knockdown shooter. He's not necessarily overly creative off the dribble.
No, but he comes around. He's almost like the Shemet Red. He can come off a curl and knock down a shot. And even run the floor and knock the shot down if he's in transition. And it
doesn't, all of these different things don't couple together to create, wow, this is a great offense. It really runs well. It's kind of like little bits here and there, little things doing different things. They struggled at center this season pretty much.
Well, they got rid of Powell off their books, which is good. And he gave back $2.5 million to them.
I think he went to the Bucks as well, didn't he?
He did go to the Bucks.
He's kind of unplayable at all in the playoffs, really. But
yeah.
Siakam had 22 points. He's looking really good, and Danny Green can always knock down shots. And Ibaka's kind of come good, really. And then Jeremy Lin played some good minutes in this game as well.
Yeah, man. I think he was a good little pickup playing for, I think because Van Fleet's out for 5 weeks with a thumb or a toe or some sort of novelty bone injury.
Novelty.
Yeah, it's a novelty. But yeah, he's out, so they've obviously signed him in the buyout period.
Yeah.
So a bit of a tough win. Next one, we go to the Pistons and Atlanta, and I think this was the big... Was this the 3-point from Thon-a-Thon? Yeah, this is 16.7 seconds remaining. Thon hitting the 3-pointer to the go-ahead. Griffin was ejected, so they actually had Drummond and Thon was playing the 4. That's why they were stretching the floor and shooting. So Griffin can get a little bit hot-headed, and we saw a lot of his ass backing down guys this game, which again annoys me to no extent. But it was a good game, good go ahead. Atlanta are coming good.
Yeah.
Which is weird because they're kind of like, no, you need to tank. You need pieces.
Yeah, it's weird.
Because,
really bizarre,
you got a good young guy in Herder who's not bad. Yeah, Trae Young's really coming good.
Yeah, he's starting to heat up, which is good. They're kind of like the Sacramento of the East. They play really fast, really wild, really aggressive, no fear.
Vince Carter playing 50 minutes a game.
Which... It's kind of strange where they're also stuck in this sort of do we tank, do we not tank?
Yeah.
I think as a project they're further along really than some of these other franchises. They've got 3 or 4 good players. So.
I understand. Yeah, but they're kind of in that in between phase where, what do you do? You're not going to get picks. Do you then just collect second rounds and hope to buy out a good first round or get lucky in a late first round pick? So.
The other problem is too, they're not playing a style that is give the freak a ball and let him run point.
Yeah. They're playing kind of a traditional scoring point who can dish the ball but he does have a Curry-like range when you see him play. He can pull up pretty much from anywhere over the halfway line and score and has been dropping some pretty serious points. I think in a Bulls game which went to quadruple overtime, it was 168-161.
When was this? Oh, the other night.
Yeah, the other night. It's 168. He dropped 47 points and 16 dimes. So
that's the first rookie to ever do that. I think have 40 and 15 or something like that. But yeah, this was all about Thon making his 3-pointer to tie the I think it was the go ahead, was it?
It was the go ahead 16, and then they couldn't get it done down the thing. But he's liking Detroit. I think he fits well. Playing with Blake, learning something at the power forward position. I think Drummond adds something to potentially his 5 games. So I think he feels like he's a little bit more needed in this team.
Yeah.
Which is what he wanted all along. But it's a shame. I'd take the ring.
Yeah.
In my rookie year, I'd go, and he's going to be useful in the playoffs in that Bucks team when the chips are down and you need that money guy who can stretch the floor and just block hunt and potentially, get over the top. But it wasn't to be. He wanted to go.
So they ended up getting Pau Gasol and also they Mirotic in that trade. I have a feeling that they basically shopped him before he came out and said, I want the trade or whatever. I think they were shopping him.
No, it was a straight up trade. It was a straight up swap
but
with Detroit.
they were shopping, we're going to try and shop you around and get someone better than you for this team, which is when it first came out, both of us went why do you want to leave? What is this? Why are you going to leave? But I have a feeling they were we're going to trade you basically, just before his agent came out with all that stuff. I think they said, we're going to try and get someone else for you, which is kind of why he just took the best option.
They took Stanley Johnson, which I don't think is going to be any better than the Thon Maker, especially in a playoff. It was a direct swap. It was kind of like, oh, you want to go? We'll get him.
Mirotic. They got Mirotic.
No, they got Mirotic from the Pelicans in a different trade.
Yeah, but no, that was a 3-team.
Was it?
Part of it, yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, I think they just wanted to get rid of him, basically. Yeah. His Coach Bud was like, that's it, pretty much out of here. So, but I think his game probably fits in general better with the Detroit Pistons because they play a little bit more pick and roll. You've got
that was the Foxtel
nice
website.
Foxtel. They've got a lot more traditional 4 and 5 action.
Yeah.
With Drummond, he can mirror Drummond, block shots, play around the rim. His game around the rim is a little bit lacking. I think he's going to have to try and work that out. He was basically turned into a knockdown shooter at Milwaukee.
Yeah, which is pretty much the whole gimmick, which is why he was not effectively used because he's more of that kind of post block hunter that can stretch the floor and hit the three rather than just you stand on the perimeter and shoot the 3 ball.
So I think he's going to have to get his touch and his game around the rim back a little bit, which he's been a little bit you watch him and it
has not developed as well as we would have liked for being in the NBA. But again, that may be lacking in game time.
It's a fit thing. Repetitions, if you're just knocking down shots, your inside game, we saw it with Kevin Love, where now Kevin Love has no inside game at all, whereas 5 years ago, he was the one of the best post scorers in the league. Because he never has to do it for the Cavs and it's taxing on his body, there's no point for him doing it. He may as well just knock down shots. Whereas Thon, I think he has an all-round game, but he hasn't used it at the Bucks at all for a couple of years. I think his dribbling's got to get a little bit better, and he's got to, again, find that area between bulking or being wispy and playing fast type of thing. Move on to Denver. Dallas obviously broke off, got 6 minutes of garbage time. He put up a shot. I'm a bit disappointed with Dallas and what they're doing with Brokoff because this team, it's just wait for
Porzingis now. Let's give Luka the ball.
But then give
Dirk a bit of
minutes,
a fit. It's the Dirk farewell season. Dirk's starting again. That's just kind of why.
Yeah, it's annoying.
It's Mark Cuban playing the nostalgia card to get crowds. That's all it is. Let's see Dirk, which I get. But hold on,
you could pencil in 10 minutes a night for Brokoff.
Yeah, easily. But they don't seem to.
They don't want to do it. It's brutal.
So we'll move on. Yeah. Game of the week was the Jazz and Thunder and the double overtime win from the Jazz.
Jazz blew that game, man, in regulation time.
Yeah. Just not
Paul George, though, man. He's just been outrageous this season.
Yeah. He is MVP caliber, but Harden and Giannis are just having that weird, ridiculous season. Harden is... Although I saw a foul the other day, I think it was Rozier on Harden for the Celtics-Houston game. He did not touch him and didn't go anywhere near him. He kind of went like that and pulled back because he knew, and it was called a foul.
That's a foul.
Yeah, pretty much. Or when his beard got fouled. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't.
I think it was the Detroit. Yeah, when someone hit his beard, they called a foul. It's become comical.
It has, man. It sucks for he is a phenomenal player, man. As much as you can look at that, we'll just go on a rocket stand.
Rocket stand, yeah.
But as much as you look at this guy and the phenomenal things he's doing, I still just go, dude, do you have to do this garbage? And refs, do you have to pile on to this? Like, do we need to do this? He's already phenomenal.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to get an extra maybe 6 or 7 free throws a game where you go, that was just bullshit, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Couple of dodgy step backs too against the Celtics, but we'll talk about them a little bit later. Back to this game, Paul George is just phenomenal. I think closing games it's become the perfect foil to basically give me the ball, Westbrook. I'll close these games in a sense where last year Westbrook was the guy where you're just like, oh, I don't really know if I want him closing games. Like sometimes he'd close a game and they'd win. Sometimes he'd just be jacking up shots like we saw in that final series where, what was he, 9 of 43 or some outrageous number of shots.
They're falling this year. They're falling.
Well, he doesn't, like, there's no spotlight on his game. Like, he can put up triple doubles, but not have to carry the load.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the spotlight's not on him to be just like, well, if you don't get triple doubles, we're definitely not going to win. Like, Paul George is playing at such a phenomenal level. Dennis Schroeder's come in and performed really well. Terrence Ferguson.
They're a really good team all around, I think. I think that though they do miss one piece goes down, it does make it harder for them to come because the depth isn't there. But as a starting five that stays fit through the playoffs, they're going to be definitely hard to beat. Jingling Joe having a very good stretch of games post thing. Quinn Snyder's come out and said he's just facilitating phenomenally. Yeah. And you've got a guy like Donovan Mitchell putting up 46 points a night or shooting 50% from three and the field.
Some of his shots are just...
terrible and selection.
Part of their loss was on his shot selection, I think, a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I just would love to see him... Like, they win a game because of his shooting. Like, wow, he dropped 5 phenomenal shots to win a game. Like, I'd love to see him, wow, Gobert had 5 lobs at the end of a game, and that's why they won, rather than... Because he just gets a little bit of tunnel vision, but you can't sort of...
fault him. He's
phenomenal
talent. He will get smarter. Level. He will get smarter, and he will get better.
Like I keep saying, they all seem to just be happy with it. They're all like, yeah, you take more shots. No worries. Yeah. Keep taking shots. We like that. Whereas I'm sitting here going...
Well, they really have no one else to take over the game. So, the Warriors have a takeover player. It's Kevin Durant or Steph Curry. Yeah. The Rockets have a takeover player. They don't have a takeover player. It's not Joe Ingles. He's not going to take and create off the dribble. It's not, Embiid's a takeover player. Butler's a takeover player. That's why they need Mitchell. And that's why they're happy for him to just go, all right, you take over this quarter and score, and we'll try and run some facilitation for you to get you some better shots. But so
Joe Ingles, 46 minutes in the end, 15 points, 7 dimes. He's definitely, obviously we'll go through later on, we'll talk about one of the next games, I think the Denver game, where they don't have point guards, and like Dante's out, Neto's out, and Rubio's out. So he's got to, like at the start of the season, I remember we were having a conversation about less facilitation, Joe. Like stop trying to get on the ball and create things, get out of the way, knock down shots. Whereas now it's kind of like, this is paying off. Like, okay, some of that is now paying off. Obviously they had a dodgy start to the season, but they lost this game, but they're starting to show now some of that form from last year just at the right time coming into playoffs, and I think they're going to be a tough team for whoever matches up against them.
Yeah, hopefully OKC.
I'd love to see that series again. I feel like OKC might get the revenge edge, though.
Yes, but it's going to be a good series to watch because I think they're both getting some form in the run down to the end. We'll move on to the next game, and that was the loss from Philly to the Trailblazers. No Embiid this game. Simmons tried to take over this game, did very well, but just couldn't get there. 29 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists. Bolden had 7 points, 2 rebounds, assist, and 2 blocks. It was really the Ben Simmons show. I think everyone else kind of just fell apart and didn't score. Butler not putting up a lot of points. Harris not putting up a lot of points. Mike Scott and Jonathan Simmons not playing very well. So it was just a bad shooting night, but they gave up so many offensive boards. 19 offensive boards. Gee whiz. Which is just, it was a horrible game to watch. It was Ben Simmons trying his very best to take over and do something.
They're quite an all-round, well-rounded team too, Portland.
Yeah, and Redick hasn't been shooting well post at all. post All-Star break, like just terribly.
Yeah.
It's just like, hold on a minute. You know, you're putting up 6 points a night where you're putting up 25 a night before. So he needs to shoot himself back into some form. Nurkic played quite well. But yeah, it was Jimmy Butler only had 15 points and there was the game.
Yeah, without Embiid, it's kind of tough. Like Nurkic, do you feel like Nurkic just is really aggressive and just gets away with like heaps?
Gets away with a lot of shoddy calls and just like elbows and just dodgy like hands in the face, and you're just like, really? How did you get away with that? But
it's a little bit like Adams is the same. He gets away with a lot, but I like Adams and I like his game.
But Adams is a soft player.
Adams.
Yeah, but you know when a guy's falling over, he's the first one to go pick him up. You might elbow you in the head, but hey, it's an accident. I'll come pick you up. Where Nurkic will just get in your face and tell you. Like Simmons was just calling him a cock, pretty much. You're an ass. You talk a lot of shit for being an asshole. That's exactly what he said. Yeah, that's what he said to him. He's like, you take a lot of shit for being an asshole. And you know, but that's
you can get feisty, Ben Simmons. I'd like to see some more feisty Simmons.
Yeah, Feisty put up 29 points.
But their Trailblazers are capable of putting up, you know, a 130 piece.
Yeah, easily.
If Dame Lillard goes off and then CJ has these games where you're just like, oh, CJ went off today. Nice. Well done. And then, JJ Redick, 1 of 10, and Jimmy had 15 points. Should we move on to the Cavs?
Yeah.
Charging against the Grizzlies. 112-107 win. I think that was 2 in a row at that point. Delhi had 23 minutes, 10 points, 3 of 7, 6 times. So he's dishing the ball really well. It's good to see. Deng Adele obviously still down with the charge. Canton charge. And then Kevin Love. He's back, which is good. Back. 32 points.
Guess who's back?
They have a lot of ISO weapons. Like, I was watching, I don't think it's this game, I think it's a little bit further on, where Jordan Clarkson came off the bench and I just went, oh yeah, Jordan Clarkson's on this team and he's creating off the dribble. Like, shit, like, nice. But then he's a player where you'd rather go, no, we won't build our franchise around this guy.
No, you don't want him. He's a piece in the puzzle perspective. But yeah, no, you definitely don't want him around that. But yeah, look, they're winning some games. Delhi's playing well. 10 points, 3 rebounds, 6 dimes, and a steal. You know, Delhi's looking good, man. This Australian team could just be a team of facilitators.
Yeah.
Pass. Yeah. Harlem Globetrotters of the world.
Especially with Simmons in there, man.
Yeah.
Like the freak point guard will be interesting to see because we've got a lot of less traditionally athletic players and more sort of smarter facilitators, which might be something to just bring down the USA team.
We're not going to see him this year, but Josh Green, he's looking 6'5" shooting guard. He's looking really good.
And
McDonald's All-American. He's 18.
Yeah, so he's probably a little bit too early for the next couple of years. He might be for the next one, really.
Why wouldn't you have
some more? Definitely. What about Tom Wilson and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, but Tom Wilson's a point guard. We've got depth of those. Delhi and Simmons, or Delhi and Patty playing at the 2-point. Or you could play Simmons as a traditional 4. And have Joe Ingles playing small forward, and then you've got an abundance of bigs, Baines, Bogut, another facilitator in Bogut, just
this team's going to be good, man. It's
just a weird lineup of people. But we'll move on to Detroit, Miami. Big win for Detroit, pushing for the playoffs. Thon Maker, 15 minutes, 6 points, 3 rebounds, are still on a block. Good to see.
It's not like he's not getting. Thon's making a huge impact here, guys. No,
it's just
little things here and there. I'd like to see more from him, but I just don't think we're going to see it. It's not quite going to fit. Yet at the same time, they're pushing for something at least, which in their sort of collective, he's going to have a role doing that.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Like, it's not necessarily like, Thon, you got to make something happen. It's just, Thon, you got to plug in here and plug this gap and work. And I think he's the perfect type of player, really, for that. He's got the right mentality. That's definitely the kind of in the background guy who'll do anything for the team. And I think it's really going to have he's going to have a big effect on their playoff push. And then maybe a little bit of experience in the finals might push him forward, getting 15, 20 minutes a game in the finals, in the playoffs.
Definitely.
Blake Griffin. Kennard, man. I've been watching him. He's been knocking down shots like it's going out of style
He has been. He's one of those players that a lot of teams wanted to trade for, but they would not let him go. And I think he could potentially, be a good future piece for this Detroit. I think Blake Griffin won't be there much longer. He's a bit I don't know where he's going to
His
go there.
contract's bad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a 5-year max. And they
But
pretty much...
isn't this like his second year?
Yeah.
Because they were like, have a max, we're going to have a banner. Out of here. Jerry West comes along and see you later. I don't think his game is really viable too. And he while athletic, he looks weirdly athletic. Like it's not smooth. It's just unusual, man. I don't get it. But you know, if it's working and they make the playoffs, who knows, man? He's got experience with the Clippers in the playoffs, so hopefully it can get them somewhere, and he can take Thon along for the ride as well.
Indeed. Next game, that was a Celtics lost to the Bulls.
Yeah, that was brutal, eh? Should we talk about the Celtics now? Have we got any more Celtics later on?
Yeah, we've got some more Celtics, Houston, a few other things. We'll move on to Jazz and Dallas. Good win for the Jazz, beating a pretty woefully inept Dallas. A bit of garbage time from Brokoff, three in 6 minutes. Decent bomb.
Yeah.
Joe Ingles, 18 points. Back to the shooting Joe. 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steals, plus 12 on the night. Rubio and Mitchell each scored 25. Crowder 22. Gobert 15 and 11. And it was pretty much the Utah Jazz all the way through. Tim Hardaway's playing okay for the Mavericks. Luka Doncic was out for this game. That's probably one of the reasons why they did not play. And a bit of Dirk in there as well for some nostalgia.
I think he got the start, didn't he?
Yeah, he got the first start of the season. But
see, this is what I mean about Brokoff. Like, why? Like, Doncic is out. Nowitzki starts. How can Brokoff not play 12 minutes of actual minutes in a game like this?
I don't know.
I don't understand it, man. It's been annoying. Like, annoyingly disappointing. Like, not disappointed in Brokoff, but just annoyingly disappointed that he can't get on the court, man.
It may be something we see for the last 10 games down the stretch, but he's guaranteed 2 years. We might see more of him next year, or he's just always just going to be that 6-minute facilitated role player that's injury cover.
And I suppose, like, look, he hasn't knocked down shots in the way that we'd hoped. Like, you would think if he could shoot upwards of 40%, like above 40%, he might be getting more time. But, you know.
He also might get picked up by another team that's looking
possibly
for a sharpshooter, because Dallas does not want sharpshooters.
Nah, well, I don't know what they want now. Like, they've got to get rid of the coach if they want a different, more modern offense with Doncic. Like, I can't see Rick Carlisle running a modern offense with Doncic and Porzingis.
No.
It's just...
No, it's not going to work.
Maybe it does a coach bud and find some wrinkle revolutionary. But, you know, is Doncic as freak as Giannis? Like, he's a
great player. Freakish player. Not as athletic as Giannis.
Nah.
And you can't really build that team around him, but he's a Jimmy Butler style player. He can take over down the stretch and win you games, which it's amazing to watch.
Yeah, it's fantastic to watch, but you know how much of that is Doncic and how much of it is Carlisle.
Yeah,
but at least you know, like we called for clearing the decks. Basically, it's Doncic and get rid of everyone else, and they've pretty much done that. So they're in pole position for the next few years.
Yes,
at the very least.
Definitely. We'll move on to the Spurs and.
The Knicks.
Yeah.
just donating a W to the Knicks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, Paddy didn't play very well in this game or watch this game.
No, he didn't at all. Bit ugly, but you know, still getting a few points at least.
2 of 14, 4 assists. I don't know what to think about the Knicks, man. They're a weird team, eh?
It's just David Fizdale kind of just smiling the whole time. Like, why are you smiling? What do you know that we don't know? That's obviously Kyrie and Kevin Durant, but...
Hey, yeah. It's just, right, I guess. And then they might be sold and stuff, but... Yeah, Pop would have been pretty disappointed with this loss. DeRozan had 32 points and 9 rebounds, not too bad. I think the Spurs are pretty close to locking it in. Are they? No, they're kind of...
They could go. Depends on the next 10 games, really.
They're 2 wins back from Sacramento at the moment, which is a few games but like after where we're talking about. And then the Clippers... Potentially, I think they won today. So, we'll have to see what happens with the Spurs. But, we'll just move on to the Cavs at Portland.
Back to trash for the Cavs.
Yeah, they lost. They're obviously coming up against a better team.
Much better team.
Delhi had 17 minutes, 5 points to 4, 5 dimes. So, still dishing the ball really well. And then McCollum, 35 points.
Yeah.
Hey, every 3 or 4 games, McCollum drops 30 and everyone goes, oh, yeah, McCollum's really good. He's a really good player. 11 in the fourth quarter, pretty much to ice it. It was 71-48 at halftime. Gee whiz. Yeah, I think it was a similar scoreline against Detroit too, where they were up huge against Detroit were up huge against the Cavs. No Deng Adele again. I think he's going to stay with the charge for a while unless they have any more injury worries with Osman. Nick Stauskas is playing for them as well.
Yes, which is
I thought he got waived, but he
got waived and then re-signed.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I don't know because there was like he got moved on
all that
without
Patrick McCaw stuff as well. Yeah, that's weird.
Dodgy.
Move on to Pacers at Detroit. Keep charging through them. Detroit, another win against the Pacers as well, which was good.
Yeah, no Oladipo means that they are still up there, but they're not quite at full strength. Drummond seems to be having a good rebound this season, playing well, scoring well. I don't know why. I don't know how he kind of get it, especially against a guy like Miles Turner who can control Embiid usually pretty well. But that's the game. Thon not really having the greatest game. 13 minutes, 2 points, all from the line, and 3 rebounds.
That's what I mean about Thon. It's like he will get 15 minutes, but they're not wow minutes. Woo! Thon's really pumping here, guys. It's kind of he just fits in and
he
does
just
a few things. But he'll find his way, I guess.
Yeah. Should we move on to the Super Chunk?
Yeah, against the Nets. The Nets look good, man.
Yeah, but then they play bad as well. They get chunked by the Magic, and you're just like, what is going on? It's the Nets are one of those teams that they have to have a good shooting night to win. And if Joe Harris is on, Russell's on, they're going to have a good shooting night. And Russell was on 23 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds. God, the Lakers must be spewing giving him away.
Who's that?
Russell
D'Angelo.
D'Angelo Russell.
It's kind of a chemistry guy, though, like a bad chemistry type of guy. But then you look at that really the chopping away of like Clarkson, Nance, and Russell D'Angelo. Like it was there again. There's a bunch of guys where they don't really fit on a team, yet they're probably good enough to run their own team. Well,
not run their own team. They're good enough to tank for the Cavs
or something. Like they're
tanking for Zion.
It's just that LeBron factor where LeBron left Cleveland, and then it was like these 3 rosters exploded with a bunch of different players, and they all just spewed around the league, and you were like, oh yeah, they're not bad players, like not the worst players.
Yeah.
And they're kind of hit or miss type players. Where are they going to be good? Yeah, well they might be. This Nets team kind of has more to it than D'Angelo Russell. Like Joe Harris is playing really well. LeVert, obviously, he's had some injury problems, and their center, who I can never remember. I always think Miles Turner, but obviously Miles Turner's Pacers. What's their center's name?
Jared Allen.
Yeah,
Jared Allen.
Yeah, and he's had a good season as well. And
he's more of a highlight reel guy. He's not really like a solid center. He's just like he can block everyone pretty much at one point.
The highlights are good every now and then.
Yeah. We'll move on to the Philly and Pelicans. And, man, Philly nearly just chunked this. They just did nothing in the last little bit. Simmons had 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, -5. Didn't have the best game. Bolden had 9 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. This was the Tobias Harris show, 29 points. Boban played quite well.
He looked really good in this game, and then he got injured.
Yeah, he got injured towards the end, and Bolden kind of stepped in, and the last 3 minutes were terrible. It was just chunk shots and no one getting there.
Yeah, there was a bad turnover. I saw
bad turnover. No, it was just crap. Anyway, let's move on from that. Dallas and the Clips.
Did Davis play in that game?
He did, but he didn't play for last quarter.
Yeah, that's weird too, isn't it?
No, that's it. They sit him.
That's bizarre.
They don't want their prized possession that they're going to be trading off season injured.
That's weird. Like at the end of the day, man, that whole wash up, like what a mess that turned into.
Yeah, but that's Rich Paul. He kind of ruining the league through LeBron. Yeah. LeBron really is toxic for the league as a whole. And NBA execs are kind of caught on to the fact that, okay, this is the 4th team you've kind of gone to in a roundabout way and just blown up.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, eh?
Just goes in like, I'm going to blow this team up. I mean, the first reiteration at Cavs didn't. He left Miami, only left because Bosch was signing, not because of Wade, but because Wade and Bosch were there. Came back to the Cavs, blew up the Cavs. Now he's just gone to Lakers, blew up the Lakers. It's like, this is not good for the game's image.
I was listening to Simmons' podcast, and Russillo goes, we've all forgotten that this guy came out of the 4th game of the finals with a cast on his hand. Remember that? He had the cast. And then 2 days later, it was like, wait, your wrist's fine? He's like, no, it's still sore, man.
Yeah.
Like he's got to be really theatric and do all these theatrical things. That's weird, man.
Still one of the best, but, you know.
Yeah, but it comes with a lot of baggage, I guess.
It does. You know. Dallas Chunk, I believe. Yeah.
No cough.
No broke off, so no party for us.
Yeah.
Celtics are bunged by the Raptors, and then get boned by the Trailblazers, and they lost four straight.
Yeah.
Just chemistry, bad chemistry. Hayward is just super trash with Kyrie on the team. I think he almost needs to be on his own team to start doing a little bit more of that Joe Ingles style for facilitation.
That's Hayward.
Yeah, whereas Kyrie just takes over everything. And so that's fine when you've got a good power forward that can create his own off the dribble, but Hayward's more of a knockdown shooter and facilitator. You can't really create a lot off his own dribble. And then we get some Aussie on Aussie crime, Pistons and Spurs. Spurs win. Paddy with 11 points, 3 rebounds and assists. And
they played well in this game, actually.
They did.
Again, where you're just like, whoa, Spurs just played well, and they won a game. Nice. Like, what happened there? LaMarcus 24 points. DeRozan had 17. They feel like at certain times Spurs can control a game.
Yeah.
Where the opposition might either melt down or doesn't have the ability to wrestle control back. Like some of these teams are just so fast and powerful that the Spurs end up falling over. Oh no, we tried to wrestle the game back into our hands, but they were too fast, too powerful. They weren't scared. Whereas it kind of like the Pistons kind of just fell in a hole. They knew how to defend Blake Griffin. Bellinelli was hitting shots. Derek White, 15 points. 52% from the field from the Spurs. Their defense kicked in. They held them under 100 points. Reggie Jackson had 22 points for Detroit. Thonatron, no points. 15 minutes, no points. Naught from 5. He did get a block, 3 rebounds. Patty Mills, he had 11 points, 1 assist.
Should we move on? Yeah.
Spurs
are hard to watch, man. Sometimes they're like, wow, this is like, DeRozan's doing his baseline kind of work down, back down, mid-range fade game. DeRozan's working in the arc, putting up some good... And then other times just like, Pirtle's putting up a shot and LaMarcus is just standing around looking at the ball. Like, I don't understand.
And Bellinelli's like the plug-in hustle guy.
Yeah, he's like the plug-in, just come off the screen and shoot anywhere on the floor pretty much and try and...
Yeah, they can't fit that in either. Like, it's weird, yeah.
Anyway, next game, Dallas win against the Pacers, and Brokoff doesn't play, which again...
Like, why?
I don't.
Annoys me, man.
It is annoying.
Clippers at the Jazz.
Good win for the Jazz. Still no Dante. He's a little bit away. Joe Ingles had 3 blocks this game. Yeah,
more victims for Joe Ingles. He blocked Shamet's 15-foot jumper. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's 15-foot pull-up jumper. And then a Lou Williams 12-foot driving floater. He blocked that. Surprisingly, he didn't go to the line. Lou Williams seems to always just randomly go to the line all the time for some reason. But he had 11 points, 4 of 9, 1 of 3 from 3, 6 assists, so he's dishing the dimes again. He loves that little one dribble and then on the foul line, that bounce pass or the hesitation and flick to Favors. He's been pulling that out of the bag recently.
He has indeed.
Gobert, he had a bunch of blocks as well in this game. Favors had a couple of blocks as well. Good win. I think, the Jazz are coming good late in the season. And it's taken those point guards to go down, those guards to go down for them to rediscover what we were doing that was really good. So too many guys maybe is a bad thing. Maybe.
Yeah, they've got good depth, but can't really do much else with it when it's all up and running. It would be interesting. We'll see what happens with Exum when he comes back, but... We'll move on to
Cavs and Knicks.
Battle of the Bongwater.
Yeah, this Battle of the Stinkies.
Smoked out Bongwater to part 3, and the Cavs complete the 3 cones punch sweep.
Yeah. To keep those analogies going, there was a sweep 3-0 for the Cavs. Delhi had 16 minutes, 4 points, 2 of 5, 4 assists, so still dishing those dimes. But this was a horrible game to watch.
I can't even talk about it.
It was like 2 teams that didn't want to win, being like, no, you win. No, you win. No, we want you to win. No, you win. You win.
RJ?
And then
Zion? RJ Zion?
And then Kevin Love just being like, fuck it, I'm going to ball, man. Like, and then he played really well. And then Clarkson as well. Another one where Clarkson, you're just like, oh yeah, Clarkson. And he's like, right, I'm going to ball. Fuck it. Let's win this game.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll move on to the 76ers and Thunder. This was a Paul George's Thunder outfit, and it snapped a 19-game away losing streak for Philly. So they first time they've beaten the Thunder away in 19 games.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was going to say in the league. I'm like, whoa.
No, what? Away. So they haven't won in OKC for a long time. Simmons had a triple-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists, 2 and 2. Bolden had a really good game, 14 points, 6 of 7 from the field, 3 rebounds and 1 steal. Harris had 32. Butler played really well, dropping 33 assists. On 42 baskets in the first half. It was really good.
It was a really good game, actually. Both teams played really well.
Russell Westbrook doing what he does best and chunking shots. And Steven Adams really not taking advantage of a body mismatch on Bolden, which was very strange to see. I thought he would have gone to town.
He played well, though, in this game, man. Bolden played really well. 14 points, 6 of 7, 2 of 3 from 3.
Putting the ball on the floor as well. You can kind of that dribble around the back, handoff.
Yeah.
He's looking good.
He looks like he's got the makings of a one dribble step in, create a handoff, like a creator type. Well, not quite like Bogut, but at least he can put the ball on the floor, one dribble, get to a spot, and then
we haven't even really talked about Bolden in the Aussie saga. Like this dude can play at 3 and 4 and 5, and can stretch the floor and shoot quite efficiently as well.
And I think he's going to be an important piece for Philly in the finals because he's
definitely
that 3-4-5 guy that they're going to need. And then he's going to work with Harris too because Harris can clearly create his own shot from 3. I just don't trust Butler creating his own shot really in isolation from 3. But whereas Harris, you're like, yeah, he can do that.
And Butler can and has done it.
But I don't trust him to do it.
He's won 2 games this year. He beat They won against Brooklyn with a off the shot dribble 3, and then against the Hornets off the shot dribble 3. But yeah, I mean, this team could be something special for the next 5 years if they sign both of them to maxes. Essentially,
will they?
Yeah, they are. The owners are saying we have to fork out cash if we want this team to be generational.
I don't know if I'd keep Butler though.
They want to keep him. He's obviously doing something there.
I just don't know if he fits really.
I
think Harris does everything and more. It's just you lose maybe a smidge of defense. Or probably you lose a little bit more defense.
You do lose a little bit. It's a shame. Rubbington Cove. Man, my tongue has been a long day. Anyway, we'll move on to the last game before we wrap this up. Robington Covington.
Yeah, the last game. This was a great game. I watched this.
Yeah, this is good. All I say is I really don't like the Nuggets, so go the Jazz.
Why don't you like the Nuggets?
Oh, Jamal Murray's a twat.
Yeah?
I just don't like them. They're just. It's also the commentators like, Ben Simmons is shit. Why is this guy playing NBA?
Yeah, I forgot
Joel
about
Embiid is an okay center, but Ben Simmons is shit. And JJ Redick is just an old man who can shoot.
I forgot about that. Yeah, their announcers are probably the worst.
Worst in the NBA. I can't stand it. But Joe Jingling Ingles, 36 minutes, 15 points, 10 dimes.
Yeah, man.
It's something like there was a stat where Joe Ingles goes to 10 or above assists. And they're 6-0 for the win. So when he's dishing, they're winning.
They're mainly those dribble to the foul line, bounce passes. He had a couple where like leaners were like through the lane to favors to dunk. Jokic kind of got exploited in this game. I haven't seen a team just destroy Jokic like that. Like Gobert, even where a guy we've watched this season and kind of gone at points where you're like, like I don't know if he's really playable here, but in this game, like he destroyed Jokic. I was like, fuck, like sweet. Like if he's going to be in this kind of form, and they like even that would be a really good series if they end up being. I don't think the Jazz will sink low enough. I think Denver's pretty much cemented to finish 1, 2, or 3. Or maybe if they finish 3 and Utah's at 6, but. Like they destroyed Jokic, and at the end of the game, like Jokic just looked tired and like busted up, and I was like, "Oh, geez!" Like
bit of a tough run home for Denver.
But yeah, Joe Ingles, man, facilitating. This was the game where Neto and Rubio were both out. It
just shows you what they need, and Joe Ingles can provide, and potentially they don't need to run a traditional point next season, and maybe bolster the 5 with a guy that can spread the floor, or bolster the small forward position.
Yeah. But that's about it. We'll leave
That's
it there.
it. We'll leave it there. We'll be back sometime, probably over the weekend, if not Monday next week. Obviously, bring you more games up to date. Any news on Bogut officially signing with the Warriors.
Looks like it's going to happen now.
It's going to happen. But we're on the downward march. Let me get my phone out.
The calendar.
To have a look at the calendar and how far we've actually got left. I think it's 4 weeks.
Yeah, I think, what are we looking at? End of April.
When is the regular season?
This is great
podcasting here. Isn't it? Oh, jeez. I just did that.
The guy looks at phone and looks for stuff on phone. But just regarding Bogut, I think
11th of April is so we've got another 4 and a bit.
Really that early? Early April. Wow, I thought it was the end of April.
No, we're down the stretch and almost onto the playoffs. So stay with us. Remember to like, share, and subscribe on
Aussies taking over the
Aussies
NBA.
Taking over the NBA. We're going to try and stream on YouTube next time.
Yeah.
But we might. Oh no, we won't be able to co-stream. So we might just stream to YouTube next time.
Yeah.
And then go in between potentially with everything. So thank you for staying with us.
Yep.
The audio should be a lot better now.
Hopefully, we can't hear it, but hopefully it should sound better. We've done a few tests on some stuff, so hopefully it's better. If it's not, let us know. Send us a thing and send us, hit us up with some comments and feedback. iTunes, if you're listening on iTunes or SoundCloud, rate and review, 5-star rating if you can.
5-star Uber rating.
That'll help get us out there and get us noticed, because we're enjoying doing this. It's a lot of fun going through, watching these guys, and I think there's going to be some more Aussies. Hopefully there's another one with Bogut.
Yep.
Hopefully there's going to be even more in the finals. It looks like only Dallas and the Cavs are going to miss out in terms of teams with Aussies in them.
Yeah, so we're going to be potentially saying goodbye to those guys earlier than we'd like to, but we'll be there doing full season wrap-ups, all the postseason stuff that we need to do, and taking you all the way through to the big game, or the big series itself, and into the Summer League. Ben's going to have a kid between now and 2 weeks, so
scary, man.
We may be coming on some pretty weird hours and things like that, but always can catch up on iTunes, SoundCloud, Podcast Addict, all those good apps. All right, guys.
Through without a mic drop.
Peace out.
Peace out, peeps. Thanks. Take it easy, everyone.
Bye.